1775, at the outset of the Revolutionary War, to the War of 1812, the Mexican-American War, the Civil War, the Spanish-American War, World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm, and the War on Terror. Over 1 million soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen have given their lives in the effort to preserve our republic. Every single one of those men and women who have died in uniform for the defense of our country was a tragic loss to their loved ones, husbands, wives, siblings, parents, and other people who cared about them on the most personal, deepest levels. As you look at the image before you, you will see my son and me at the gravesite of one of those heroes, one of those men who sacrificed his life that people he didn't even know, like my son and myself, might live in a free country. Why do I have my son there? Why have I taken him to that gravesite every year since he was 4 years old? To honor a man he never knew? Because today, on Memorial Day, we are supposed to remember why we were here and what it takes to remain a free republic. I have taken it seriously how important it is that my son remembers, that he learns history, and he learns to appreciate that sacrifice is necessary to be successful and to be free. I'd like to read you a little bit about this particular Marine who we honor every year at his gravesite. His name is J.P. Blecksmith, a man I never met, whose family I later came to know and came to realize the depth of their sense of loss. But more importantly, I came to know the pride they had in their loved one, their child, their sibling, in his sacrifice, his leadership, and his selflessness. On March 31st, 2004, Iraqi insurgents in Fallujah ambushed a convoy containing 4 American private military contractors from Blackwater, USA, who were conducting delivery for food caterers. The contractors were dragged from their cars, beaten, and set on fire. Their burned corpses were then dragged through the streets before being hung over a bridge crossing the Euphrates. Photographs of the event were released to news agencies worldwide, causing outrage in the United States and prompting the announcement of a campaign to reestablish American control over the city. This led to an unsuccessful U.S. operation to recapture control of the city in Operation Vigilant Resolve, and then a successful recapture operation in the city in November of 2004, called Operation Phantom Fury in English and Operation Al Fajr in Arabic. Blecksmith India Company was the first to enter the city and start a house-to-house search operation in the Jolan district. On November 11th, Blecksmith died from a small arms fire while leading the 3rd platoon in the clearing of these buildings. The bullet entered his left shoulder and was deflected down into his heart. Operation Phantom Fury resulted in the reputed death of over 1,350 insurgent fighters. Approximately 95 American Marines were killed, and more than 1,000 were wounded. I read this to you because J.P. Blecksmith represents everything that we as Americans should honor and, yes, remember. Today on Memorial Day, I cannot stress the importance of remembering and to encourage your children, our future generation, and yes, generations, to understand and appreciate the sacrifice that it takes to live in a free country. It does not come without pain and suffering. So please today, as you enjoy time with your friends, your family, and I certainly hope that you do, take at least some moment throughout the day to remember internally and to say publicly that we are grateful for the men and women who have paid the ultimate price that we can have the freedoms that we do. I will close with this. It is a quote from General George S. Patton Jr., a quote that sometimes is not fully understood or appreciated. And I would ask you to take time to research the quote and to read about what it means completely. It is foolish and wrong to mourn the men who died. Rather, we should thank God that such men. It is foolish and wrong to mourn the men who died. Rather, we should thank God that such men live. For your little nation, I'm the chief, Mark Garrett. God bless America. And thank you, JP Flexman, and all of the men and women who have paid the ultimate sacrifice.